I'm writing a theme song on the spot. Pretty good, right? Hello, welcome. I see some people were already talking on. No sound. Is there sound now? Of course, there's no sound. Is there sound? There must be sound. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. So on YouTube, I noticed there were a few questions that came in just earlier, just before. So they didn't show up in my little thing here, in my little box, but I did see that Andre was a little too early. So you weren't too early. It's fine. You were on time. You got there. You were efficient. It's great. Can we put some questions in already, or do we have to wait until the stream is live? You can put in questions now. You go for it. I'm here to try and answer as many questions as possible, and also, of course, today, finally, very excitingly, share with you SQRack. It's I'm sure it's kept a lot of you up at night as well. It's kept me up at night for a long time. We've had huge numbers of requests over the years, and it seemed like every single stream that I've done, every live stream that I've done, somebody's going, when are you going to make SQRack? Now, here, it's done. I've even got one. Look, I've got one right here. Look, there it is. And that's not a picture. Yeah, there you go. So yes, please do add in your questions. I'll run through some of the main features first of all. I'm sure a lot of you have already seen the launch video, so you're probably aware of some of the bits and pieces. But I will go over them again because it is an SQ in a rack. Yes, that is what it is. I mean, we could just say it's an SQ in a rack. Cool, done. But there are some new bits as well. One thing I will say is there is an update coming for SQ to go with the rack. The rack requires it. I'm not going to go too in depth on some of those features, but you may spot them. So eagle-eyed viewers have already spotted them on the launch video and already asked us some questions. And it's not that we're hiding anything, but today's stream is going to be just about the rack. And if you want to know more about 1.6, which is the update that's coming, you can check it out at NAMM next week, which is pretty cool. It's also going to be at ISE, running on the SQRacks that will be there as well, so you can get your hands on them if you're going to those shows. There's probably going to be a bunch of content that people make, so ask any friends who are going to get some videos or whatever. And then if to know as soon as it's out, basically, as soon as there's more information, make sure that you're signed up to for SQ emails, basically. So we've got like a newsletter sign up, which is alan-heath.com/newsletter. Or if you've got a registered SQ and you've signed up to receive emails, of course, you get the emails first before everybody else to say 1.6 is here. So yeah. Okay, with that said, let's have a quick look. I'm gonna have to see, because it looks like there's quite a few people already. Let's see if there's any nice question. Look, beautiful peeps. Yes, Jerry, there are beautiful peeps. All these people, beautiful peoples. Dave says, I'm your hero. No, no, you need to rethink that. I mean, look at me. But yes, I will try and answer your questions, Dave. So ask away. Anthony's here. Amazing. Alex is here. How many are here to have news about more firmware, more than SQRack info? Yeah, I thought that might be the case. When Enrico says, Keith, when will A&H come out with an SQRack? Thank you, Enrico. Thanks for setting that one up. Well, I've got news for you, Enrico. It's right here. I can even show you a top view. Bum, bum, bum. Amazing. Amazing. Wow. Thank you. Cool. All right. When documentation? Cool. Yeah, that's a good question, actually, Dave. When can we expect the documentation? So the manual, there'll be a quick start guide coming out. That'll be out. Probably we'll put it online in a few weeks' time. Of course, the update to the firmware 1.6 will include some of the features, some of the stuff that I'll look at today. So that'll be out pretty soon. The technical documentation and other bits will be out probably in the next month or so. That stuff will be available. You'll see it kind of drip feed out. If everyone's really keen on the documentation, we can send you emails, or you can just ask us and we'll let you know. We'll keep a support ticket open. So if you send us a support ticket, we can let you know as soon as stuff is being uploaded. Okay, straight off the bat, I knew this would come in. Can the SQRack be used as a stage box with an SQ5? So Francis, not really. It's a mixer in itself. It is you got a bunch of I/O, of course, on the back, and I know what you're talking about here, which is that can you put it into some sort of mode? We're not writing that idea off entirely, but at the moment this is a mixer in the same way as all of the SQs. So rather than an expander or having an expander mode. What you can do, of course, is use tie lines. You don't get the head amp control, but you can use tie lines to get any of your local inputs through to another mixer. Or if you had an S-Link card in, you could run it in the middle. So you could have inputs from the SQ and from an expander and run all of those through into another mixer. Say if you were using this as a monitor mixer on stage, maybe you want to send out say you want to send out 64 inputs to an Avantis, you could plug in a GX4816 into the S-Link card, plug the S-Link port into the Avantis S-Link port, use tie lines to send through all of the sockets that you've got at the stage end through to the Avantis, and then use the SQ to mix some of the monitor stuff. So, good question. Good question. I've just realised there's some weird phasing going on with these mics. Hopefully you can't hear it. In fact, maybe I'll turn one off. That'll help. Less is better. Okay, cool. What was the biggest challenge of developing this mixer, Keith? Oh, good question, Alaska Sound Guy, Audio Guy. So, it is an SQ. It's an SQ. In fact, there's a lot of things that are exactly the same as all of the SQs. So it has the same SQ core. What's different about it is the form factor, really. I mean, the I/O is the same as an SQ5. So if you look around the back, everything's the same as an SQ5. So the biggest challenge was how to do the control side of things, because how do you make it nice and easy to control when you've got no faders? So for a start, and in fact, let's start having a look at stuff rather than just me answering questions. For a start, we have a fader screen. So I could show you that here. And this has everything on it that you would get on the at the bottom section on an SQ5, 6 or 7. So you've got Paffle, you've got mute, you've got pan in here as well, actually, which is often with levels. You can do levels on screen, you can touch and select a channel and change the levels there. You've got layers over here, so you've got your 6 layers, and you can go kind of left and right to go through and see all of your faders. So that all makes sense, and we were like, okay, but can we do better? Because this layout works. We don't want to squeeze in lots of faders. The reason this layout works really well is that the fader screen, the processing screen, and the routing screen all work together. So if I select mic, I can then go into the processing screen. Mic's a mix. Great. That's confusing, isn't it? Let's select bass instead. So I could select bass, I could go to the fader screen, I've got bass selected, I could be changing the level of it here, I can then jump into the processing screen, I could set up some stuff over here, so I've got the preamp gain, for example, set up on one of my soft rotaries. So that's for the selected channel, so if I go to, I need another channel with preamp, that would help. Let's go with that. Then as I go through and select different channels, I've got preamp control. I could select this one and I could get preamp control there. So you're kind of making a surface with what you've got and the space that you've got. So that was cool. But then we were like, right, how do we do things like mix select? So mix select, we're going to my faders. Mix select at the top right here, so I can touch on there. And I can select my mix. So great, I'm going to select the monitor mix, and it's going to tell me, there you go, these are now sent to my monitor 1 mix. Or I can select effects sends. So these are all the right hand side buttons basically. Let's go back to main left right. Then we thought, oh, actually, we could get a really quick way of getting through your channels rather than scrolling left and right, would be to have that up in this other corner. So on the rack, you can go in, select your channels, and you can see everything that's available per layer. And I can really quickly then go back to, I don't know, let's go to Sam and select that channel. So it's really quick and easy to find your way around and select a channel and also select your mixes. So it's quite usable. Obviously, it's mostly designed to be used remotely. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be using it remotely with an iPad, with SQ Mixpad app, for example. But we wanted to make sure that on the unit as well, if you need to run up to a unit and do it, or if it's in an installation environment, for example, that you don't have to connect up an app, and we have got all control over everything on the unit itself. So thanks for the question. Good question. Is the SQRack sold including the rack ears and or mounting material as shown in the introduction film? Is this happy to put separately, says Dave. Sorry. It comes with it. So here is a rack ear. And this is one of my favourite bits. I know it's a bit sad, but, you know, I'm a bit sad, so I don't care. One of my favourite things about SQRack is the mounting option. So it comes with these rack ears, and you can see there's a bunch of holes in here to fix it onto the unit. So if I show you on the side of the unit, excuse me while I spin things around a minute. I'll have to close your question, Dave. Right, so on the unit you can see I've got it set up at the moment. If I lift it slightly, I've got it set up for freestanding, and I've got it angled so I can just use it on the desktop here, which is cool. Other options you've got, there's a bunch of options. So obviously standard rack ear mounting. So I can mount that there, and you can see there's these holes here to fix to, and holes at the bottom. So I could fix it just flush. Great, goes into my rack. What about if I need to put it in a rack where I don't have much space at the front? Okay, so I can recess it like that, and that will recess all of the rotaries behind that. So it allows you to close a kind of flush glass-fronted rack, for example. Then you can rear mount it. So you could rear mount it again flush, or you can mount it recessed if you want to. If you want to have a little bit more space for connectors, if you're leaving those plugged in. Then you've got the freestanding options at the bottom, and with all of these you can also angle them. So you've got like 5 different positions. Sorry, that's the wrong way around. So if it was up high, which way around would it be? That way. So if it was up high, you can mount it that way, you can mount it at an angle, and that would tip the front of it down, so you can see it if you're looking up at it. Or if you're mounting it low, you could mount it the other way and have it tilted slightly upward. So that was a really fun bit of the project, really, is working out how we do all of that. And you'll see as well, it's quite, from that top view, you see it's quite a neat little box. So it will fit in racks, and it's a shallow rack fit, really. Yeah, there's that rack here, you can see the size. So it's kind of a side on, it's almost square. So it's like 4 you at the front, and then pretty much square. So you can get it in a really nice little rack there. Let's get the screen back up for you. Sorry, I'm not a cameraman, you may have noticed. Okay, let's see there's some more questions here. Pretty sure you can put in your questions anytime. That is correct. There are loads of questions. All right, I'm going to see if I can get through some of these. Are the show files and scenes of the SQRack interchangeable with the other SQs in the series? Yes, they absolutely are. It's an SQ on the inside. It's got all the benefits of XCVI core, so 96K processing, up to 90-bit on the accumulator, 0.7 or less than 0.7 milliseconds of latency, and all the same channel count. So it's exact in the core, the actual mixer part of it and the capabilities of it, it's exactly the same as all other SQs, and for that reason, it will load up shows from any, and of course you can make a show on an SQRack and load it up on an SQ5, 6 or 7. Max is here. Hello Max, welcome. Is the I/O routing on the rack as good as on the regular SQs? Good question, thank you. Yes, yes, it's exactly the same. In fact, the I/O board on the rear is exactly the same as an SQ5. In fact, I could probably even show you that it's exactly the same, or you could just take my word for it and look it up yourself. But the board itself is exactly the same, which means the preamps are exactly the same quality. So all of your the quality that you know and love from SQ5, 6 and 7 is in the SQRack as well. So there's no difference in performance, no difference in the processing. It's just a difference in the form factor, and it hasn't got faders. That's the big difference. But when is, oh, unbelievable, really? Really, we get the SQRack out and now people are asking for the Avantis rack, honestly. So I don't know. That's not even planned. I don't know if that's something that you guys want. Then obviously let us know. As shown here, when you ask for something, we will make it. Introductory film. What was the biggest challenge developing it? Long Tennessee. Introductory film. So we're deep pressing. Oh, okay, yeah. So this is an important question I've seen a few times from Dave. Dave's asking some really good questions. Thanks, Dave. Introductory film says a new add-on optronic compressor. Will the deep pressing capabilities be different? You will have to find out at NAMM and ISE. But no, it's an SQ. It's an SQ inside. I'm not trying to hide anything. It is an SQ inside. So all the stuff that is coming for SQRack is also coming for the other SQ models. Yeah, Mike says advanced track is DM0 or any DM or CDM. That is a very good point. All right. Krusty's asking what are the internal recording capabilities. So there's no internal recording. There's a USB-B interface, same as the other SQs. So you can have up to 32 channels, 96K bidirectional over the USB-B. You also have up to 32 channels at 48K or 16 channels at 96K direct to drive recording playback using a USB-A or USB storage device. Cool. All right. I'm not going to give away I'm not going to answer questions on the new firmware. I'm going to just is SQ. This is a good one actually. So the you guys would have seen this. I'll just have a sip of my. I think it's mango. I don't think I've ever had this tea. Mango and something. Mango and strawberry. Oh, it's nice. Okay. Is SQControl as cool as Custom Control App? Custom Control App is pretty cool. No, so it's different. So the Custom Control App is available on AHM, DLive, and Avantis, and it stores all of that in the unit. So it stores all of your settings and setups and everything else, and you come along with your device, you log in as a specific user, and it will throw out all of the settings and setup and everything else. Custom Control does not work on CQ, Q, or SQ because they don't have the capability to do that in the unit. So SQControl is a kind of a custom control. It's not custom control, that's a different thing. But it's similar idea is that you can customize how you set things up and control things. So let's have a look at that because that has its own dedicated screen on the unit. So if I go over here, special button on the unit there, SQ Control. And if you've seen our Q Control, this is like an update of that. So similar idea, but with a few extra bits and pieces. So you have 5 tabs here. I haven't set up all of them, so throwing some random stuff on those ones. And on each of these, you can set things up as you want. So at the moment, it's got some level control there, so I can touch on there and change some levels. I've got some mute controls for the same channels. I've also got here a radio button control for source selection, so I can switch a source on or off for a mix. So say I'm in an install environment in a bar, and I want to have the band, throughput playing. I could have that, or I could have some background music playing in a different area. So it's kind of a simplified custom control in that regard. And then you've got some level controls, and then you will have some soft key controls here as well. And then the other thing we've got here, which is different, is scene recall. So you can do a scene recall directly from this page. It will tell you what the scene is, and you can just hit that. I won't do it now because it can change. You can change this per scene as well. But you can recall any of the scenes. So you could walk in to an install into a pub or club or I don't know. You guys probably know more than I do. You probably go out here and install stuff. So you could go in, and the person first in on the day will go, yeah, cool, this is my Tuesday setup. And they press Tuesday, and away they go, ready to go. You could also then, with that scene, change the setup of these controls. So on a Tuesday, we need access to the background level control. So you can't see what I'm pointing at there, these custom soft rotaries. So you can say, okay, on a Tuesday, we have background music. So that's going to be our background music control. And then on a Friday, we have a quiz. So we're going to have a microphone plugged in with microphone level and a laptop for a presentation. I don't know. totally up to you. But yes, it's a it's for simplified control in install or dry hire environments. You can also use it as quick access to certain things. So if you just wanted to have a bunch of mutes on here, you could. In fact, there you go. So I've got this one. If I go into edit mode, I can see I've got 48 total widgets or slots, and I could go in and say, right, that's going to be a. I'm going to do a mute, and it's going to be input 15, and then I can choose. Okay, is it going to be a 2x2, 2x1, 1x2, 1x1? I'm going to just do a 1x1. There you go. There's my mute, and then I could do that same mute. But do 2x2, and I could do that same mute, and then that, and I could do that same mute, and that. So a few different options of how you lay it out to make it nice and clear for people to use. And then they can come in and go, yep, I just need to mute that channel, and that's it. And that's the only control that person needs. So there will be some user permissions to go with this as well, if you're setting this up for somebody else, or if you're an integrator or installer. But in short, yeah, simplified control. The other cool thing with this is that there is an app to go with it, which is the SQControl app, and that should be here. So you'll see if I go back over there, this exactly matches what's going on that screen. So if I set something up on this screen, it will also appear on the app. And if I set something up on the app, just ignore the fact that it says SQ5 at the top there. This is all currently in test. I quite like it when stuff's in tests like this, because it's just like high risk factor. It's like adrenaline. It's like a gig, except with untested stuff. So it's like a scary gig. Right, so in here I can say, yeah, I want that to be a mute, and it's going to be, I'll do the same thing just for the sake of it. So I could say 15, and only these ones can fit in there, so I can fit that in there. And then if I go back to this screen, there's my mute again. So I can mute it in there, go over there, mute it over here. Amazing. Cool, yeah, so SQControl is really, really powerful and quite easy to set up, as you can see, and gives you lots of other options for control in a rack unit like this. But also what's cool with the app is that we'll be coming for other SQs as well. You will be able to use that, obviously set it up from within the app and you just use the app. So it can be used for things like giving somebody access to some levels for a live stream, for example, because you can do send levels to a specific aux. So in a house of worship environment, for example, you might have somebody sat over in the corner just doing the mix of the live stream, and you can give them SQControl to stop them from messing with all kinds of other stuff, front of house, EQs, whatever, stuff that you don't want them to touch. So yeah, very powerful, very powerful. Okay, Samuel's asked, I don't know if, yeah, this was about 15 minutes ago, I need to catch up. What are the dimensions? Does it fit in a standard shallow rack? Yes, it is obviously standard 19-inch rack mount wide. And I was saying earlier, it's for you, and then it's almost a square on the sides. So yeah, it's, well, in fact, yeah, it is that, because that will fit on the top or bottom, or front or back. So yeah, square on the sides. Oh yeah, someone asked about the SQControl app, when will it be released? So again, if you want to be the first to know when this is released, at the moment it's still in test, a bit of development. It will be coming out, well, I don't want to commit to an actual time, but to be the first people to know about it, make sure you sign up to the newsletter, which is alan-heath.com/newsletter. Or if you've registered your SQ and signed up for notification emails, you will be the first to know. When is UK availability and price? So pricing will be different. You can't, it's illegal to have any kind of fixed price anywhere, because you know that's anti-competitive. So I don't know about price. The best thing to do is talk to your local distributor or dealer, and they'll be able to let you know what the pricing is, and they'll also be able to let you know about availability, because I think there's quite a few people taking pre-orders now. These units should be landing sometime in Q2, so like April, May-ish, something like that. So the first units that will be shipping then. So yeah, get in touch with your distributor or dealer, and they will be able to help you with that. That's an interesting question. I hadn't thought of that one. So Michael says, could you use this with QPAC as monitors? Yes, you could. I mean, you can connect an S-Link port to a Q's D-Snake port, and then what you need to do is make sure that the SQ is syncing to the S-Link port that you've connected to. So it will be clocking to 48K from the D-Snake port, but it'll still be running at 96K. So what you could do is have a QPAC and an SQRack side by side, have them linked together, and you could be passing channels through from one to the other, and then have another connection back off somewhere else. So yeah, you could do that. That'd be cool. Is there Mi Hub and Mi One connectivity? Yes, absolutely. So the rear of it, I don't know if I can spin it all the way around, and I don't know if I want to lie on its front. I mean, this is quite a nice unit. It's fine. You can probably see it from this. Hang on. Doing it at a weird angle. You can see on the back there exactly the same as an SQ5, so it has got an S-Link port. So the S-Link port allows you to connect to DX, to GigaAce, to D-Snake and Mi system. So yes, you can connect straight up to a Mi U Hub and Mi One or Mi 500. How do we do? Okay, how do we do the auxes for monitor? So I showed some of the mix select early on, which is up in that top right section. So you can just go through and do your faders and do your send levels that way. However, there is the app, which is the SQ for You app, which means that individual performers, musicians can control just their own aux. So they just get control of one aux, and it's just simplified level control, so they're not messing with PQs and things like that per channel, messing up for everyone else. So yeah, that would be the way to do it probably. Or you can just use SQ Mixpad. So I know a lot of people have used SQ5s in the past because they want to have the SQ sound quality, the XCVO core, and all that brings. I've done it myself plenty of times where you have an SQ5 and you shove it under the stage because you don't have a front of house position, and you're mixing in the audience or you're mixing side of stage, bouncing between the two. But some people talking about the new compressors. Yeah, I'm going to try not to go too deep into 1.6. I'm very tempted because I'm quite excited about 1.6. But I'm trying not to. Okay, what type of I/O expander cards are available? So there are Dante V3. Don't worry about the V3; it's all similar capabilities. But Dante V3, 64 by 64, Dante 32 by 32. There is Waves, which is 64 by 64. And all of these are 48K or 96K operation. There is MIDI with 2 ins, 2 outs, and a word clock. And there is S-Link as well. So that's your expander card. So S-Link will allow you to do any connections to Alan Heath stuff and allow you to use this in a monitor rack or whatever. Waves, obviously, you can integrate plugins. You can use Wave servers, and you can also use it for recording. And then Dante is Dante. We all know Dante, but Dante's more for infrastructure. But of course, you can do things with Dante Virtual Sound Card recording. You can do stuff with other Dante hardware and its interconnectivity between all kinds of things. Alex has asked a question about MIDI. Yeah, MIDI. Okay, so Alex is saying faders are virtual. Do we have the same control through MIDI than an SQ, or have we lost some functionality? And MIDI strips still exist. Interesting. So you want to have? I mean, they do. I'm pretty sure. I'm actually literally going to check. But I'm sure they do. Yeah, of course they do. Fine. Right, so if, sorry, I'm not actually showing you what I'm doing. I'm just poking the screen. So if I go into my strip assign, everything is pretty much exactly the same as you're used to on SQ. It's just that the faders are on screen and they have their own dedicated screen. So I can do my MIDI faders if I want to. And also the there you go. Also, if you are controlling this remotely, someone was that's all right. Francis was asking about AV integration as well, so this all ties in. So MIDI control is exactly the same. So MIDI control is the same across all SQs. You can control send levels. The send level is not the fader, so a fader controls the send level and MIDI can control the send level, and the fader can represent the send level if you change it via MIDI and vice versa, but you're never actually controlling the fader directly. So it doesn't matter that there's no physical faders here, you can still control the virtual ones or the levels. Hope that makes sense. That's an interesting question. There are not. This is obviously at SQ level, so the gain assistant quick channels. But if this is something that you want to see in an SQ level product, absolutely put in some comments on the feature suggestions section of the forum, which is getting an update actually. So watch out for that. Don't put your feature suggestions in, when the website's down or the forum's down in the next week. Just wait a week or put them in now and they'll get copied across. Douglas says, congratulations on the SQRack and thanks for making it so tiny. Yes, no problem. We did want to make sure it was super portable, but had all of the power of SQ, and it was quite fun actually. It was a fun project because everyone was asking for an SQRack and we said, what does that look like? And overwhelmingly people were like, just take off the faders off an SQ5. Just give me the SQ5 IO. Give me some touchscreen control, something like a Q-Pack, something like an SQ5. So that's what we've done. Any plans for a 1U rack unit? Not at the moment. Although again, if it's a different format, like I say, overwhelmingly this was the format that everybody asked for. But if you want a 1U rack and we've got lots of demand for it, then of course we're going to build one. So if that's something you want to see, let us know. Hi, that's not what was typed, by the way. Wes didn't type . Hi, will SQ Mix be update to include SQ Drive transport controls, the WCLs and custom layers. Ideally, like the keypad does brilliant for Q Drive. Yes. So you can do it with soft keys at the moment, and if you're using a rack which has 8 physical soft keys, or an SQ5 which has 8 physical soft keys, you can access soft keys 9 to 16 in Mixpad as well. So you could use those as dedicated controls. That's what I tend to do. But you'll have to wait and see. Sign up for newsletter. Be the first to know. Sorry, I can't help myself. Okay, where is the virtual aux knobs? Oh, okay. So Nigel says, where's the virtual aux knobs? So that is this selection. I'll show you again because it is really cool. If I go into my fader screen and I go to a layer with a bunch of channels on it, I can select an aux at the top right. So I could say, there you go. So now those are setting my levels, send levels to the auxiliary. So that's all my send levels from those channels to auxiliary 1, to auxiliary 2, to auxiliary 3, and you can see they're changing, all back to my main mix. So it's a sends on faders and faders on screen. Sends on faders on screen. Sends on for sophos. I think it'll catch on. Okay, can they relate to stereo? Okay, it is a general SQ question, but this is an SQ. It's just a different form factor, so that's fine. Can the TRS outs A and B be assigned their own mixes? So all sockets, can they be linked to stereo? Can I get 6 stereo MEMs? All sockets on SQs are fully patchable. Everything's freely patchable. The layout's fully patchable. All your input sockets are patchable. All your output sockets are patchable. So they're not tied to a mix. You can change it per scene if you want. You can change what's being sent to those sockets. So there's, excuse me, there's like, I would say there's three aspects to the digital mixer. So there's the core, which is the mixer itself. That's the XCVI core. That's the processing. That's its capability. That's where all the audio, that's where all the magic happens. Then you've got the I/O, which is all your sockets, and it could be local sockets, it could be digital sockets, it could be USB, it could be option cards, Dante waves, or expanders, so extra sockets out and about. And for example, on the SQ7, you can have like over 300 sockets connected, input sockets. Obviously, it's a 48 channel mixer, and that's the core, but you can have over 300 sockets connected that you can switch between and do other stuff with, like tie lines, recording, whatever. And then you have control. So the control is either local, like the soft rotary, soft keys, touch screen, faders on the 5, 6, and 7, and yeah, keys and everything else, or via apps, which could be SQ Mixpad, SQControl, which will be coming soon, SQ for you, or via MIDI. So you could send stuff MIDI over the network, or you can send MIDI over USB. So splitting it up in that way might help to explain. You have this many mixes, but you have way more sockets if you want, and you can duplicate those mix outputs to those sockets. Okay, Alex says, lovely box, Keith. Can't wait to get my hands on one. Good. Already put an order in, Chris. Nice one. How does one get a cool coffee cup like yours? You have to break in. We've got pretty good security, but you have to break in. They're in the cupboard at the top right. So as you go into the canteen, you go left and then far cupboard, top right. But it's, like I say, it's going to be difficult. It's quite good security. Okay. Where SQ control? People asking about the SQ control being available. Yes, it is an SQ. It will be. It's an extension of the family. So it's not a completely different thing. The inside is the same. The motherboard is the same. The processing is the same. The capabilities are the same. No firmware talk. Got it. What about showing us the effects library just for fun? Yeah, sure. There you go. Pretty fun. Since the rack's traveling in more, have you considered screen protectors? That's an interesting one. So this is a... I have seen people use other screen protectors. It's a fairly standard size screen, so you can get them, or you can cut them down if you really want to. But it's a pretty good, tough screen. But yeah, you can do it. We've not considered it ourselves. To be honest, some of the other stuff, like we want to do mixers. We want to do audio the best we possibly can, and some of the other stuff like screen protectors could take us away from that a little bit, or take up some time that could be spent on processing. SQControl, yeah. Will there be 6 mono matrix as well for SQ5, 6, and 7? To find out the latest news on SQ 1.6, please sign up for a newsletter, and we will let you know when it's out, and you'll have all of the details. However, I'm pretty sure there'll be lots of people at NAMM next week and ISE in a few weeks' time in Barcelona, who will be getting their hands on this and pouring through all of the features in the rack, which are the 1.6 features. Christian! Hiya, Christian. Hope you're well. SQRack, yes, absolutely. SQRack will be compatible with the Live Tracks DAW. Yeah, it will work with all of the channel naming features and the scene features. So it's got the same MIDI that's running for that. Douglas, hi Douglas, has asked, again, will SQControl be available for existing SQ owners? Yes, it will. And I think Douglas has got an SQ5, I think, an SQ6 maybe. So yes, you will be able to use it. What are the add-ons? Oh, no, can't say about the add-ons. How many tablets can be connected to the SQ rack and router? Yeah, okay, this is a good question. So it will be the same as SQ. So you can connect up to 3 devices running SQ Mixpad. So that could be a computer, could be PC, could be an Android tablet, could be an iPad, whatever. So you can have 3 of those. They're like full control, if you like. And then you can have up to 8 in total. So you could have 8 SQ for you apps. You could also have up to 8 SQControl apps when that one's available as well. Bit of a noob. No, don't say sorry. That's why I'm here to answer questions. That's what I like doing. So is there 8 aux sends total? No. There are 8 aux sends by default when you get the show and you open it up on an SQ, and that's because you can have any of those mixes. You can set them up to be groups or auxes. They're all stereo or can be monoed, so you've got 12 stereo mixes to play with, and then you've got 3 stereo matrices which may or may not be able to be split into 6 mono matrices coming soon. TM. So no, it's not only 8 aux sends total, and they can be mono or they can be stereo. Yeah, cool. Okay, let's think. Yes, you can, Paul. You can connect up. I think you're asking about connecting up AHM via S-Link. Yes, you absolutely can. Or you could integrate it into a large system with Dante. So you could have a Dante card in here and the AHM, and they use the same Dante cards, Waves cards, other options cards. How to connect other than, oh, this is good. How to connect other than wireless. So right now, Paul, I have got my iPad connected up directly with a little dingle dangle dongle, which you can probably just about see off here to the side. And that's because on the unit itself, and the same on all SQs, if I go into my network setup, it can have a self-assigned, if you can see that, spin it around. It's got a self-assigned IP address, which means I can just connect up a network cable directly. That was just easier today than setting up a router, to be honest. So yeah, very, very handy feature. Matt Diamond, hey Matt, hope you're well. Sorry it's been asked. It has been asked, but I'm more than happy to answer it again. It cannot be used directly as a digital stage box, but you can do things with tie lines. So you won't have head amp control directly from the other mixer, but of course you could have an S-Link card in there. You could use it as some of your inputs, for example, in a large system. Then you could pull it out so you've got a bit more of a modular system and say, okay, today I don't need faders, I don't have a front of house. Actually, I'll just use the SQRack on its own, or I'll make use of its 16 inputs as part of a larger system. And then, of course, we control them remotely. All right, just going to cough a second, hang on. Okay, there we go. Right, how many? I'm wondering what else I've missed. I probably missed. Oh, wow! The eyes of this man, incredible. That is indeed. If I move it slightly, a little Alan Leath cable tie. I'll let the guys know that we should start selling those. But yes, they are really cool. They're really cool. We did the promotional thing a while back, but I really like them. I think we've got some CQ ones as well. Very cool. Are features from the SQRack. Okay, actually this is good because I have been saying yes, the update 1.6 for SQRack will be an update for all SQ mixers. That's absolutely true. There are some features that are only on the SQRack. They are very minimal. Those features are selecting your mix at the top and selecting your channel over here, because obviously on the other units you've got all the buttons to do that with. Other than that, the core itself and everything else is exactly the same. Mildred says good morning, and I'm going to say good morning. Hello. Okay, if you're using the escalator stage box, can you show the game? That's the same question. Okay, yeah. So any chance the SQ series can hold multiple show files on the SQ itself? No. So what we've done is we use up all of the memory in the all of the scene memory to have scenes. So you kind of could, in a way, if you went, okay, we're going to have only 100 scenes per show, and then you could have 3 shows in the mixer itself. But the best way to do it, if you definitely want the separate shows and keep an eye for 1.6 updates, won't change this directly, is to have a USB key inserted to change shows. The whole idea is that a show is a setup for a show, whether that's one evening or a particular install or a week-long performance or a tour, and then the scenes are different bits in that show. So it doesn't work in the same way as Avantis and D-Love, where you can have multiple shows. Okay, can I connect 3? Oh, I'm going to answer this one for Paul. So can I connect 3 SQRack using DX Hub? So what DX Hub does, Paul, is it takes the GigaRace or GX, GigaRace GX protocol, and it splits out into DX. So you can't, you can use that DX, which is the digital expander, for any expanders, but you can't use that for direct connection to other mixers. So no, the hub is just for DX expanders and then a GigaRace GX connection back to the mixer. Oh, Samantha Potter in the house, says the same thing. So thanks, Samantha, for getting there first. Can I use this? Yeah, can I use that? A few other people asking about QSB and use the inputs directly in the SQRack. You can use those inputs. You don't get the head amp control. It's a similar thing. So you've got a mixer. It's rather than an expander. So you can connect up a QSB, QPAC, Q16, whatever, and you can send those input channels using the direct outs. You could send those out to, or even, you could do it from direct outs and then send it out over the MIDI protocol. Actually, it uses, so you could send up to 40 channels to an SQ. There is a knowledge base article on that actually. And Samantha's answered another one from Paul. Thank you. Douglas is asking Samantha a question. This is perfect. Samantha can answer the question. She is answering the questions. Thank you, Samantha. Okay, so sidetrack question on CQ updates. Yeah, I mean, we're always working on new stuff. So yeah, there will be an update to the CQ. I can't tell you, we don't ever give ETAs because it's all dependent on development and test. But yes, it's not like we're not going to update it anymore. Can you record multitrack 96K multitrack on the USB port on the front side? Yes, you can. So you can connect up a USB A drive storage device, and you can record up to 16 channels of 96K audio on the front, which is actually another slight change from the other SQs, because we had to we had to turn this board around, so we had to turn this knob around as well. But yes, same capabilities as all the SQs. You can record up to 32 channels at 48K or up to 16 channels at 96K. Swag cable ties, mugs. I know I've got some socks somewhere. It's pretty good. I haven't got any pants. Never mind. Will plugin effect licenses be transferable between consoles? Yeah, we do get this question a lot, Douglas. No. So the way we've designed it is that you add value to your console, so you're updating that console, that unit, and this prevents problems. We did look into all the different options. Hang on. But this prevents any problems where, I've lost my key, I've broken my key, if I was using like a kind of iLog style management, or if you're trying to connect to the internet in the middle of a field, that doesn't really work. So there's all kinds of reasons and things that we went through and said, okay, the best way to do this is that they are unlocked forever or added forever, installed forever on this unit. So it adds value to the unit. Jalon says, good morning, Keith. And I believe, is it today? Is it today Jalon's birthday, or was it yesterday? Happy birthday anyway, Jalon. I understand it was your birthday. Good question, Prime. So you do have access to Prime. So a 16-in, 8-out Prime unit would be a DX32 with those modules installed at the moment, of course. I think what Paul's asking for is something like an AB168, DX168, DT168, but with Prime included. Interesting idea. Not sure if it's possible. The very high-end hand-tuned preamp modules for the DX32, which you can use with the SQRack, of course. But interesting question. Right. Oh, okay. This is an interesting one. So Jalon's asked, can you control the faders in SQ mix pad with a MIDI fader controller, thus allowing us to have wireless remote faders at the front of house? Not at the moment, but it's you can set up controllers. You can use something like a bone box, so you can set up USB fader controllers and have them work. Sorry, my throat's going tickly now. You can have them work with yeah, Bonebox, like I say, or you can do it through a computer, and then you can send the MIDI messages for any of your send levels to the mixer directly. But all of the MIDI commands go directly to and from the mixer and the core, not through the app. If that makes sense. Wow! Not only is Spotter here, but Kmad's here as well. Hey, Kmad. Look, it's the box that you asked me for so many times. It's real. It exists. Look. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Love the rack. This is a good question. I have seen this quite a few times. What made it cost so much higher than the competition? That is the cost of it. That's the cost of producing it. It's the cost of the production. It's the cost of the processing. I always think that we make an offering. We don't tell anybody you must buy this, you shouldn't buy that. I'd never badmouth anybody else's product. I think there's lots of good products out there. So this is an offering. You get an SQ in a 4U rack space. Yeah, I don't want to get into it any more than that, really. It's just that we want to make the best product for you guys and the best value product for you guys. So that's what we aim to do. Is it's not just about cutting costs or anything. I'm trying to be very careful how I phrase this. It's about best value for money, basically. Klaus says, hey, and all the others love the SQRack. Good, Klaus, and nice to see you. Thanks for coming. Oh, there's a question there. That's from Alex. A question about firmware stuff. I'm gonna no. Oh look, it is Janon's birthday today. Happy birthday for today. Oh, there's somebody shouting here. Janice is shouting. Okay. All right. I'll try not to respond in kind. Tell me why digital remotes don't have simple digital inputs. Yeah, and CQ has no AS output, but of course digital remotes have outputs and inputs. They're only complicated, expensive options. It's because a lot of times, Janice, I think people are using fairly straightforward analog connections, and where people are using digital connections, they're using things like Dante because it's higher channel count rather than having a single AES on an XLR, for example. We do have AES out on the SQRack and all SQs, and all Qs as well, actually, which is really handy as a main master out for anything that's got a digital AES3 input. But a lot of times, I mean, microphones have analog outputs. So in all of those situations, you want analog. A lot of the speakers, processors, other line level equipment doesn't take things like IM racks. There's not a huge number of IM transmitters with AES. So really it's just about what will get the most use in this product. There are definitely corner cases where people want to have only digital or only AES. And for that, it's quite a specific thing. And then you can go and get a D-Live, for example. You could go and get a DM0 and you could put some AES cards in that. Or you could use a DX32 that has AES input and output options in modules. And you could then use those with any of our Everything I/O compatible products. So SQ and Avantis. And of course, you can use DX with D-Live. Cool. Okay. Look, everyone's saying happy birthday to Jalon. That's nice. Keith, oh, that's cool. I like that, Paul. Can do a limited edition transparent version. It'd be like one of those phones from like the 80s and 90s where you could see all the components inside. It does look really cool inside. Mike's got to go. Busy. Okay. All right. Sorry. See you later. I've got to go in a minute, actually. It would look super cool. Hang on, I'm going to just show you this because I'm sad and I think this looks awesome. Look at that. It's got like LEDs and stuff flashing away. It's well cool. So yeah, definitely we're going to do a... Oh no, I shouldn't say that because people will quote me on it. We're definitely, maybe, probably not, going to do a transparent version. It'd be super cool. Okay, I think that's most of the questions. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to cover, but I have been waffling on for quite a long time now, and I probably should stop. American Music and Sound. Wow, that's says hi Keith. Hello. Hi, American Music and Sound. The only thing, oh, that's an interesting question as well. Yeah, the fan on the side. So there's a single fan. There's two fans in the other SQs. There's a single fan in the rack on the side. It just pulls the air all the way along, so it works quite nicely. So there are actually less fans in the SQRack. All right, I'm going to wrap up because I've been talking for 54 minutes. If there's any final questions, make sure you get them in right now. I'm going to have another sip of my tea. Jen says, will you be at NAMM? I will not be at NAMM, but we will be there. Alan Heath will be there. And you will be able to get your hands on an SQRack there. So you will be able to go and have a play and have a poke and have a go on one and see what you think and try out some of the stuff. And also you'll be able to look into some of those 1.6 features that I'm avoiding going into. There's some really cool stuff in there. All right, sorry. I'm sorry, Ernest. I'm sorry. All right, so will there be deeper tractor integration, small zone? Vincent's new to Alan Heath. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Anthony says, flaunt that awesome cup. Yeah. Is the tea good, Marcus? The tea is good. All right. I will. Oh, there you go. NAMM booth. There. That's where you can see it. That will be the first public showing of the lovely SQRack. NAMM booth 17910. So thanks for that, American Music Sound. Go check it out. Go and have a poke. Take some photos. Find out some stuff about 1.6. Tell all your friends. We don't mind. We're not really hiding it. It's just, it's all about the rack right now. Okay, so 1.6 is coming. All right. I will see you guys again soon. Thank you for joining me today. It's been a lot of fun and very glad to have SQRack out there. Say goodbye, SQRack. Goodbye. Bye. All right. Take it easy. See you later. Bye.